I look around me one day, that crowded sea of people in northern India, and I thought to myself, who am I to travel all the way over here to tell these people what they need to believe? Who am I to tell them that all of their gods are false, whether they're Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Sikh, or any other gods, because Jesus is the only true God? And who am I to tell these 597 million non-Christians, 99.5% of northern India, who am I to tell 597 million people who surround me at that moment that if they do not turn from their sin and trust in Jesus, every single one of them will spend eternity in hell? I tell our folks, that feels extremely arrogant, entirely unloving, and uncomfortably brash. To claim that 597 million people, Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, Sikhs around me at that moment will go to hell if they don't confess with their mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in their heart that God raised him from the dead. And then I tell our people, absolutely, such a claim would be arrogant, unloving, and brash, unless the claim is true. Isn't this what Paul said in his prior letter to the church at Corinth? If Jesus didn't rise from the dead, then Christians are to be pitied among men, and the worst thing we could do is to call other people to base their lives on a lie. If Jesus didn't rise from the dead, then it makes no sense. It's outright nonsense to go around the world telling people that they either need to follow Jesus or face hell. But if Jesus did rise from the dead, if Jesus alone has paid the price for man's sin, if Jesus alone has conquered sin and death and the grave, then going around the world and telling people about Jesus is the only thing that makes sense. If Jesus did rise from the dead, then it is the height of arrogance to sit quietly by while 597 million Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, and Sikhs in northern India go to hell. And it's the epitome of hate to not sacrifice our lives to spread this good news among every person we know and among every people group on the planet. When you believe this gospel, you speak this gospel. When you believe the resurrection of Christ, you proclaim the resurrection of Christ. Privatized faith in a resurrected king is practically inconceivable.